Hello, hello, chat. How's everyone going or doing? Give me 1 minute to shoot out everything. I'm in the middle of sending out the links onto the multiple social medias. Post. Checking audio. Checking audio. Checking audio. It's a lot of background. Is that better? Is that better? How about now? Is that better? How about now? Yeah. Testing. 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 How's that? How's everyone doing? Trying to figure a few things out. Give me a minute. Alright, we should be good here. Why is my latency like this? We should be good here. Okay. We're a little delayed, but that's fine. Welcome everyone. Welcome to the live stream. Today we'll be doing something a little different. This is our weekly Pokemon live stream. Generally when we do the Pokemon live streams, we've been doing Pokerogue. I haven't felt like playing Pokerogue, but I do have a recent addiction that's pretty fun and it's still Pokemon. It's Pokemon Auto Chess. For those of you who don't know what Pokemon Auto Chess is, it's a auto chess game similar to Dota Auto Chess and Team Fight Tactics. Excuse me while I eat. Normally I wouldn't eat on stream, but I haven't eaten today. So before we get into the Pokemon portion of the live stream, The Elestronauts just put out a new video called the new Daybreak meta. It's featuring NBT. And I figured I'd do a live reaction because the last live reaction I did for Shattered Stars from watching Dan did really well on the channel, and I figured I'd start doing some more React stuff. And what better way to do it than watching the Elestronauts, like the best content creators so far, or one of the biggest ones for Elestrals out there. That way I can get tips and stuff. And I'm curious to see what they deem the meta decks are. I'm sure I'm not going to agree with all of them. Some of them I'm going to be hesitant on because I haven't seen a lot of them in play. So let's get into it. It's about 40 minutes long. So that'll take about a quarter of the stream because I want to stream for at least three and a half hours. So we're going to watch this and then we're going to dive into AutoChess. I'm going to show you the video, like the trailer for AutoChess to kind of get you guys going. Obviously, before we do that, we're going to do our Pokedoku after I watch the Elestrals, because that's now our thing where we do Pokedoku before we do the Pokemon segment of the streams. So let's get into it.
And I am now. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
Let me know if the audio needs to be up or down.
We clap, yeah. What is up, my Cracker Chugas? It's us, the Elestronauts, and we're back once again with a special guest to run you through a tier list of what we think the next format, now that Daybreak is officially out and available for Premier Play, will look like. We've got, as always, of course, the GOAT, MBT, here with us. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hey everybody, so happy to be here, etc., etc. Wow, we've really got a corner full of casters here today. For those of you who are unfamiliar with me, I run the MBT Elestrals channel. We're trying to overtake the actual Elestrals channel and usurp A Drive so that we can finally run the format. Thank you for having me on. I'm super excited to be talking about decks.
Yeah, very excited to have the third person, I believe, to overrun Wirtz in terms of subscriber count here to talk to us about Daybreak.
Wirtz my goat.
With the new format shaking up, kind of a lot of the stuff that we can play, I found that like Daybreak, more so than Frostfall, has introduced a ton of new decks that are super playable. So I think it is really interesting to talk about like everything new that you can play and all of the old stuff that got a very powerful buff, because I do think that this set really shook up the meta and is going to take some decks that were top tier, make them not so much top tier, other decks that were not top tier, make them a bit more top tier. I think it shakes up enough that it's worth talking about all the decks that we have on the tier list here today.
It's crazy because as we've been sort of like thinking about prepping to make this video, we're just constantly like, I have no idea what's going to be the best deck. So many decks seem not only like cool and fun, which is very important, but also they all just seem like good. There's very few decks on this list I'm like, nah, absolute stinker, would not do well in a tournament at all. Most of them are like, yeah, I could see this getting a top if someone has a nice run. I think anything it could do well in a tournament.
Yeah, so I think the overall metric that we're going to be looking at here, they're the 4 tiers that we have on this list, but the metric, in my opinion, and at least from the discussions we've been having, is that the deck to beat that is kind of like the bar for is your deck good and consistent and top tier is, can the deck beat 5s? 5s being basically the deck that plays so low to the ground that like it pretty much is always consistent, will always put up consistent results. So if your deck is able to consistently deal with that deck, it's going to find itself at the top of our tier list. Otherwise, if your deck is able to contend with it, but not as often, you know, maybe 50-50 wins or maybe even less than that, it's going to be lower than 5s on the tier list. So I think we should just start by putting 5s right here at meta contender. I don't think we're putting it at top tier. I think the top tier decks are the ones that can topple 5s. So for that reason, I think 5s should start at the meta contender, and then from there, we continue with the rest of the decks.
I think that 5s is a very interesting position inside of this meta.
Speaking of 5s, I used a version of 5s. I call it 3-4-5 oppression. It's like 5 up, like a light, or like a 5 up, and then use a 5 as an S for suppression. I did really well in the 2 tournaments I did over the weekend. I got second and first with them. Well, someone who beat me, I got second using a solar deck, but the person who won that tournament won with that same deck. So it won 2 first places. But I won it at the second tournament for first. We only did 3 rounds out of our normal 4 because I went undefeated. I went up against a fruit deck, which was really fun to play against. It kind of shut him down. I then went up against a Cryovern ramp up deck to where in one turn you can bring out all 3 Cryoverns. thankfully I had the outs for it with 2 rushing laurels in my hand, and then I just swapped it to defense and ran over it. The last one, it was really fun. And then my other one I went up against, it was a water stall deck. It didn't do that great against me, but all the matches were pretty close. Most of them I went 2-1. I think the first one I went 3-0, but the last 2 I went 2-1. And then the ones I lost, I had like my opponent had 1 or 2 spirits left and got the right card they needed to win.
Like a lot of the decks that I think are, or maybe would be in the top tier, do their strategy like really, really well. They gain advantage very, very well. They can take away advantage very well. And 5s is like, yeah, it's like that's that baseline, right? But it's also really funny because it is, in theory, just so much different than what we saw, last format. A lot of the 6s, the crabs, but like the inherent inclusion of things like Dense Fog and Spectaris kind of changes this deck up a little bit to what we saw pre-crabs 5s, which again is very interesting. Obviously, this deck's running things like Eddy, which is just a powerhouse in practically every deck. But the fact that other decks can maybe utilize that card even better, maybe he's up for suspect. But definitely a good baseline. However, just know that this is like, if you want to just pick up a deck, 5's not a bad option. But
I'm a big fan of 5s. I think it's funny that at present it is playing, I think, exactly 0 cards with a 5 in the attack stat. But I think the deck is really good. Although I do, in that video, kind of forecast that as game plan decks, what I'm calling decks that have like a thing to do, become kind of tighter, their lines become more actualized, they decide what direction they want to go in, it will get kind of overwhelmed by the small synergies that make those decks playable in the first place. I still like 5s a lot. I think it is going to see a lot of play, especially in the early days of the format. But depending on how the format shakes out, it still might be a playable option because it's very adaptable in ways that a lot of these game plan decks are.
All right, moving on, we have the Earthburn deck, which is the deck that plays Voltuga to search out your eruption. It can play the Vesuvatuga as well, although I do not know if that's the best way to play this deck. How are we feeling about this? Do we feel like it's rogue at all? I feel like burn decks in general are able to steal some wins, but this feels like the less good burn deck in the format. I want to put this at non-competitive. How do we feel about that?
This is a deck I've been labbing since like we had the full set reveal, and I think it probably hovers right in between non-competitive and rogue. It just depends on how high roll you be. I'd probably put it in non-competitive because you need to high roll with it in order for it to do well. The only times that this deck ever looks crazy is like you open triple eruption, Drataya, Ambrosia, and then like you draw your entire deck. Like that's the only way that this deck ever feels crazy. Otherwise, you're like, what do I do? Like I do nothing. That is what the deck does most of the time because Voltuga is just such an unimpressive body. And you have to basically rely that you draw well consistently to like see Ash Rabbit at the right point in time where you can start looping eruptions, start looping Ambrosias, that type of thing. It's so middling. I want to do a deck profile on the deck at some point, but I hope to never see this in tournament because it is just not fun to play against. It's not really that fun to play because it's still slow, even with the like high rolliness. It's not great.
All right, moving on, we have Morfrost, which was a deck that we put in top tier for our Frostfall, our Frostfall tier list.
Can't
And
believe
the thing that
gas.
was crazy with that
It
is that
wasn't
it
top
didn't
at
end
all.
up being top tier. It was a deck that would have been top tier if it didn't cost as much as it does spirit-wise, because I think the cards are just really good. However, Caleb, do you want to tell us where we're putting this for this format? Because this one is hovering a little bit lower than it was last time.
I think this goes all the way down to non-competitive. I think that Bat is not doing enough for the deck. Like,
Pack it up, Snowflake Squad.
the best thing this deck can be doing is opening like some cracked hand where you have like Keon, Lycanform, Golden Apple, and then you have a solid turn 1 and it still costs you your entire life savings. And it's just like
Life savings.
I
is
want it to
fun.
be good so bad. I wish
too.
that
I
we
love
had more
Morfrost so
discard
much.
stuff for Bat. It's such a fun deck. It's so cool, but it costs. The rent is too damn high for all of us Morfrost gamers.
Not even just that. Beyond all that, the release of
Do we wanna talk about-
Spectaris
yeah.
and Dense Fog makes it so that your deck does not function. Like, the entire game plan of this deck is to stick a large bomb And now with the addition of Polzer that we got in Daybreak, you no longer have to play the bricks in the form of the Cryoling Cryover. You don't have to play Cryoling Cryover anymore. You just play Polzer because your Polzer gets big enough so that it's basically just a Cryover without the bricks. But then your opponent sticks a Specteris on the board. Polzer doesn't walk over. A bomb doesn't walk over. Their Specteris can attack over. You're in this form. You don't get to pop a back row. Like, there is absolutely nothing in engine in your deck with the exception of exactly Cryoblast that lets you deal with a Specteris.
I don't know if that was intentional to have 1 or 2 cards basically shut down a whole deck idea, archetype / deck idea. But yeah, the introduction of Spectress we knew was going to be rough on Morfrost, but then on top of that dense fog, your deck is just done. There's no point in playing Morfrost because everyone is tucking in Spectress into your decks.
And you were already losing to Battle Step Gorgons. Now they go Battle Step Dense Fog. They got 6 silver bullets that just kill your entire deck. With the addition of those new cards that will most likely be in everyone's main and or side, there just is no world where this deck is competitive at all.
What I like the most about Morfrost is that it integrates the weaknesses of every other deck. Like, the Nexus decks tend to keep the Divine up, which puts them at a really precarious position versus Lavalith, which this deck does. The all-in on a singular guy decks like Wasp Ivy tend to have a real problem with targeted removal like Earthquake, which this deck does. The floating decks like Water Nexus playing Foamy have a real problem with Specteris, which this deck does. It's like your opponent is just going to board in 15 cards versus you.
Next up, we got Fire Nexus, which this deck, I personally believe, goes toe-to-toe with the Fives deck. I think this deck has a lot of tools going for it. The introduction of Ash Rabbit is really insane. And there is also another tool that this deck gets in the form of Argo that lets you put spirits on the board with an artifact that lets you then finally utilize Kindleo to a good degree. In my opinion, I think Fire Nexus has a very good spot at Meta Contender. What do you guys think about this?
So I'll disagree with you a little bit. I would feel comfortable putting Fire Nexus not in the non-competitive portion, but maybe Rogue bordering on Meta Contender. I guess I feel comfortable with it here. I think you're right that the game plan of this deck is like pretty solid. Like Kindleo is a really powerful, largely unexplored card. But I think what you've identified is the cards that make Kindleo good are cards like Argo. And I think that, unfortunately, relying on that particular card to set up plays is kind of a really rough position to be in. In a world where you are able to get a Kindleo on field and perform a Nexus, it's crazy. It's like unthinkably strong. I just think that world is just a little less frequent than it would.
If you're relying on Argo, that's so cost heavy because it's what at most 4 extra spirits that you're paying just to Nexus with a Kindleo. Like, the payoff is not worth it in my opinion either. And I haven't even seen many people run Fire Burn. I mean, people will take an Ash Rabbit, but I haven't seen like a Fire Burn deck yet. But I mean, this is only what, the 2nd week of competitive, so I mean, things can change.
Need to be a meta contender. I want to shout out some specific cards that I think are really cool in this deck. Rummacole is not a bad card. They have they have their own little Jolted. That's so cute. And
I thought it was a 5.
yeah, tell me about it. He gets to what, 4? Come on.
He gets to 4. Yep. Yeah.
How could you do this to
so
me?
sad. It's so sad.
It's a 4/4. It's literally prototype Rummagem, bro.
And the other rough part of Fire Nexus is these other Nexus decks, of course, get to make really frequent use of Altar of Stars. That's almost always on because their Divine Rune is so good, but the Divine Rune for Fire is so bad that it's like, okay, do I want to be playing Hef? Do I want to be playing Hammer to like keep these powerful Nexus tools on? For me, it's like a less competent version of Earth and Water and maybe Frost. We'll get to that, I guess.
Absolutely. Do you guys want to talk about the first top tier deck in the meta, Mill?
Yeah.
The very first top tier deck. This is S+ tier.
S tier.
If the goal of the deck was to be bad, I think this deck is going to go. I personally think this deck goes in Rogue rather than non-competitive, specifically because this deck is the type of shit. It's like it's the Runic Stun of the format, and it's the kind of thing where, is the deck good? No. Can you pull up? And if you have like a good RNG day, and you let's go gambling, you know what I mean? You could just mill everyone out all day. That is just like a thing that can happen. I think if you walk into a tournament with Earthburn or Morfrost, you are never, ever, ever going to win. I think with Mill, you can just high roll enough to get a win, you know? On the opposite end of things, Earth Nexus. This deck is able to consistently go toe-to-toe with fives and is going to be our first top-tier contender deck here. Josh has shown it at the last webcam tournament. This deck has done well ever since base set, and it continues to get more tools. In Frostfall, it got the Crab, and now in Daybreak, it got Bloom, and it got Mudlet, which are both cards that have actually proven to be very strong. Mudlet specifically allows you, in tandem with Bloom or in tandem with Alter, this is a deck that will now be playing a lot of Alter. You want to be Nexusing a whole lot more because you finally have a good receive Elestral. It lets you blank opponents' battle phases. It lets you play around Tsunami. It lets you play around your opponent's Alters. You just have so many tools to disrupt the opponent and counter their disruptions, even in your own battle phase, that this deck has a wide variety of tools on top of the very powerful Echolinks, which, after the ban of Sparkit, has just solidified its spot as the #1 best Nexus Celestial in the game. Maybe kind of going toe-to-toe with potentially like Aphoros, because drawing 2 is good, but I just think clearing back row is just way more valuable in this game.
Yeah, no, like, it's not a shock that the deck that has everything is the deck that can do everything, right? Like, it's like the Earth in the first set, in the second set, it's like you have a bunch of tools, consistency. You can run effectively all mono spirits, right? You don't really have to do a lot of spirit math here. You can tech in whatever cards you want. So it's a very flexible deck on top of that, like Earth Flexus, right? But like the thing is that now you can play Alter. It's the best Alter strategy. It previously was Thunder, and it's like, as Thunder before it was previously maybe the best deck in the room with Earth right behind it. It's not a shock that's with Sparkit gone that this deck has just the tools to just slam. Mudlet and Bloom are a surprising inclusion, I will say, in terms of Daybreak meta. Because while initially kind of a meme, I'm not gonna lie, like in terms of theory, it's like, oh, if it's good. But like, what happens if you just give Earth Eddie? Like, it can play natively. Like, what happens when
Edward.
when you give
Shout out
Earth?
to Edward.
It's crazy. Like,
No,
what happens? What happens if you give Earth like Alter Stars 4, 5, 6?
I think you were walking me through a play that you did in the casual tournament with this deck, where like having a Mudlet as a receiver with an Alter setup meant that like you could Viscerous into proccing 3 Viscerous. It was just like shocking what this deck can accomplish with a tool that like innocuous. If I had to identify kind of a weakness of this strategy, outside of how expensive everything is, I think there's a significant amount of understanding in fives that like the goal of each individual card is to be live and valuable at every individual instance. Whereas like there are cards in Earth Nexus that need a synergy in order to be like good. Like an Altar of Stars isn't good unless you have like the Stadium or the Divine, which you almost always have. But it means like if you have a blowout like a Lavalith that trades for the card that would be altering from, there are like ways where you can find yourself completely fucked in ways that like fives maybe wouldn't experience. The trade-off for that, of course, is that your cards actually do things instead of just having a number on them.
Next up, we got the Fungi Lock, which is a deck that we have not tested at all, but we wanted to bring Joseph on almost specifically for this, because you have tested this deck a significant amount. Let us know what you think about the Fungi Lock deck.
It's not good. I wish it was
not good.
You could put it in Rogue if you like. The concept of this deck, I think the problem is the dupe lock is not strong. I want it to be good. I want the dupe lock to be really good. But unfortunately, it really doesn't do anything in a format where there's like so available single target removal and everyone's playing it, and doing the setup loses to Laurels, and it's just really rough. That said, I think Fungide may still be playable with Follow the Wisps in a deck maybe like Fire Nexus. There's so many scenarios in which like casting a Fungide and having access to Follow the Wisps is just fog. And that deck in particular would really appreciate getting a turn without a combat step, so you can stick a Spirit on board to Nexus onto a Kindleo or something. The Bronto Wisp is just kind of the icing on the cake. It's a really powerful card, but it is rough.
Big guy.
Yeah, it is kind of rough to have to set up over the course of like 8 or 9 turns. Really cool card. Doesn't require too much investment in the deck, but definitely not sustainable as like your like strategy.
Next up, we got Windburn, the Tox deck. I think that this deck is the superior burn deck. If
Give me 1 minute, guys, to take my ball to the kitchen. I will be right back. Alright, I'm back. Let's get back into it.
you had to compare this to the Earthburn deck.
Yeah.
But I also don't think that this deck is that crazy. Like, it does have more burn tools that don't just get walled by the fact your opponent has a fire spirit on their field. But I think the deck still is lacking and isn't a meta contender in my opinion, just because it is lacking a couple of tools. The Aeolus is really expensive to resolve because 2 spirits to search a guy, to then cast that guy. Even though you're burning your opponent, so you're like kind of evening the playing field there, you're still going on like a 3-for-1 or even sometimes a 3-for-2 trade to pass on an Exalter with 3 attack. So you're not going to be doing a whole lot with that. Do you guys feel like Rogue is the right spot for this, or no?
Oh, go ahead. You go ahead. You go first. I got a whole thing.
Oh, he's got a thing. Okay. I feel like Windbird is really just like the Wind Toolbox from set 2 plus Toxion, plus Toxiswarm, and it's like, look, Thunder Nexus wasn't good because of the Toxion. It was good because of the stuff around it, and frankly, the Wind Toolbox stuff outside of exactly P-Gust is like, it's okay. There's a reason it hasn't done well. Like Exaltair is a 3-2 Nexus to burn. Like, okay, I can burn 4 in a turn between Exaltair and Toxiswarm. That's good, but they like get killed by literally anything under the sun. And I feel like that's not as good of a payoff as other decks. You just don't generate enough advantage. And if your game plan is to burn 4 in a turn repeatedly, it loses to Laurel so hard. It loses to Earthquake. It loses to Gorgon's Gaze. It loses to literally any piece of interaction in the game. I don't think this plays around anything except like a P-Gust. No, it loses to P-Gust. It loses everything.
Yeah. So, okay. Here's 2 truths and a lie for you, and I'm apparently the lie here. I actually think that this deck, very worst, is meta contender. But I actually think, and this is my hot take, this deck is actually good, and we will.
I'm actually right there with you, Mr. Swolax.
Yeah.
I'm 100%.
No way.
No, it's this deck like here. So here's the thing by it. Despite the fact that Toxion or Toxiswarm, excuse me, is one of the only big new tools inside the deck, that's actually pretty huge. Not only can you apply just normal pressure outside of things like Exaltair, it also gives the deck an extra like body that is not Sorlet that can actually hit over things or trade value. On top of the fact that you're now also like contending with decks that are like Earth, Fire Nexus, and some other decks that are all on the board, like other spirits on the board. Like, who cares if you're just like doing direct spirit damage each turn, right? And the fact that like your opponent now has to respond to your Exaltair and to your Toxiswarm, and it does not feel good. It feels terrible. This is one of the most consistent decks too, with Aeolus being able to search everything. On top of the fact that you could just run like a version of this that is more aggro burn or toolbox, and I think that both of them are pretty good, actually.
I want to echo all those sentiments. I think Swolax is 100% correct. I would say meta contender at minimum. I also would put this in top tier. I think more than the change in terms of cards it got, which admittedly is just Toxiswarm, right? It's just the one asshole. Is the change of the meta. As decks like, I mean, we'll get to them, but as decks like Earth Nexus become really powerful, being the altar deck that can trigger P-Gust at instant speed is like insane. There's a significant amount of scenarios where like conceptualizing this deck as a burn deck, I feel like is kind of unfair to it, because you're not trying to do the Thunder Nexus thing where like I am sitting behind 2 Astrabbits and a stadium. I'll just make my Toxions like 6s and you can never get over them, and I'll burn you for 2 every turn. That never happens in this deck. Instead, you are playing a control game where you're trying to simplify the board state to a point where your opponent doesn't have back row runes. Then you land an Exaltair and win immediately. Even if it's just the Exaltair, you get to burn for 2, Nexus onto the Exaltair. If you've simplified the board state, you then get to hit for like 3.
Yeah, swing
like,
for 2 or 3, yeah.
It's just a control deck that on its last turn will do 7 damage. Which I think is really strong. It's like in a position where it has a game plan, unlike decks like 5s. As 5s start to shave individual Elestrals, it can outpace them in terms of having a guy every turn. And it is the Nexus deck that is specifically poised to destroy Divine Runes as they are cast, which is like a really valuable place to be.
You know, Joseph, I didn't know you were so handsome and so smart as well.
Thanks. I think a lot. I think there are weaknesses to this strategy for sure. Like
Yes,
Toxic Swarm being a
absolutely.
4 sucks balls. The fact that you have to like play Aeolia without like a searcher is really rough. Frequently you find yourself in a position where like you have all the answers in your hand, but it takes like 4 turns to develop them, which sucks.
Ooh, interesting.
But
Yeah.
I would not feel comfortable putting this any lower than Meta Contender. I think this is a good deck.
Caleb, are they changing your mind on this or no?
I hear the argument for Meta Contender, but I think it's worse than Fire Nexus.
So
I think it's like right around Fire Nexus.
Oh,
I'm
it's
not
definitely a
sold
better
on
deck
it.
than Fire Nexus.
So here's what I think. Here's what I think, and everyone watching in the comments, you guys can come back to this video in like a month and a half or something and say I told you so to either me or Caleb or to Swole and Joseph.
True.
My guess here, I legitimately believe that we're gonna put this in Meta Contender. I'm gonna trust you guys on this, but I think this is the Morfrost of this tier list. I legitimately think it's gonna be one of those where it's like, oh, you put this in Meta Contender, congratulations. It never did anything, and it was actually non-competitive the whole time. Hey, Swole.
There go to
What's this deck over here? What does that say? Does that say bears?
Yo, the best deck in Elestrals. Okay, so you know we were talking about the Morfrost of this tier list being Windburn. This is the Morfrost, but of the tier list of Frostfall, meaning that it's the best deck in the room, and we're all freaking out about it. And by we, I mean me and Josh. So okay, this. And
I
Caleb.
played it at locals last week, and I went 3-1 and lost
everyone,
to a really bad
everyone
hand.
is freaking out
wow,
about it.
3-1
Okay,
on
so this is
locals.
the weird part, right? Bears is unironically, and this is again very strange, Meta Contender or Rogue. Like at its worst, this deck is like it still has all the problems that Bears had. The guys are small. I can't get over anything. And like some games you just be like that. Other games you are just literally poking the bear every single turn. This is the craziest counter rune I've ever seen. 4/4 to every Ursa Elestral, or to an Ursa Elestral. So typically it's just a battle trick, meaning that this deck gets Mirror Force. This deck gets Sakuretsu armor. This deck gets like one of the most powerful inclusions and makes it a do not attack me
It's
deck.
just Mirror Force. It's just Mirror Force.
It's wild.
It's Mirror Force.
And the fact that it's effectively then better Viscerous in some cases. The deck changes almost entirely from its previous incarnations. You are playing things like Ursa Cole now to search this card. This card is now searchable turn 1, which is this the first searchable counter rune in Elestral? So for that reason alone, I think that like Meta Contender is I'm comfortable putting it there. You will see this at tournaments, and it might even put up results that are surprising.
Next up, we got Frost Nexus with the addition of the
I
Broomalinks.
love Frost Nexus.
Where would you guys rate this in terms of competitiveness?
I think we can put it in Rogue as like an apology. I have high hopes for this deck. It's like there's a lot of cool stuff it has. You know, Windburn is like a Nexus deck that can refill itself with like a Nemesail. Frost Nexus has like Catarant, which is crazy good individual card.
With Frostex, it's insane, yeah.
The Frigicub stuff is nice. It can still hit for like 6 or 7. But to me, it just strikes me as a deck that has all the same benefits as playing Windburn. One guy that hits for 1 million. The ability to just sit on receivers, installed game states with except it loses to everything. Like it has a problem with shield. It has a problem with rune removal because if you get the Mountains of Boreas off the field, Frigicub sucks ass. It has a problem with Eddy and Mudlet and Tsunami, and it has a problem going to 0 on turn 2. It's just it's rough. Broomalinks is a cool card also, but he's also bad. Like it locks a rune in a format where all but one rune is chainable, and it's a 3/5. You know, it's like people are ready to kill Astrabbit. They're ready to kill this guy if it comes down to it.
Speaking of Olympus Town, Race to the Top Thunder. So this is like Thunder Nexus with Race and all that stuff. I don't know where to put this. I'm going to be completely honest with you. Like, with the hit of Spark It, I felt like the deck was still good. I was going to play that for the last Frostfall tourney. Ended up getting pilled on Earth by Josh. But it didn't really get very many new tools with the exception of the Arcalith. But I know, Caleb, you made like a deck profile for a Thunder deck and thought it was pretty nice. So I kind of want to hear your thoughts about this.
The Thunder list that I built was an Argo Thunder list, and it felt really nice, but it struggles the exact same that any Argo list struggles. It's expensive. Arcalith helps so much with that because, like in Fire Nexus, you can just ascend into Arcalith and then recycle 3 spirits, and that feels really good. And be able to do that over an Astrabbit.
Yeah,
like it feels really nice. But that's the only card in the deck other than Ambrosia that does that. And so it still just feels really expensive.
I'll go to bat for it. I think this could go in top tier. I think this is a like a recognized.
My God!
I think this is a realistic deck to bring to an event and expect to wallop on 5s all day. I think Race to the Top is still insane. I think this deck has a huge advantage over strategies like Earth Nexus and Frost Nexus and Fire Nexus that are trying to play Stadium Wars because it has such consistent access to Mount Olympus and such
the best stadium too, yeah, technically.
Yeah, and such an immediate payoff in that, like, even if, like, a lot of times, you know, you play Feloy and it's there so you can Nexus off it. Mount Olympus is of course there so you can Nexus off it, but you can like get a like removal spell on the way. Maybe it's not top tier at the moment, but I think it's a matter of time until it becomes a top tier deck.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I think that same thing can't be said for something like Phosphocell if we want to just like knock out that too, because I think that has all the same problems as as Thunder Nexus. But I know Joseph, you also tested out this deck for a little while, and Anocell is like the worst card of all time, right?
Yeah, it's terrible. Well, so I think there's 2 different Phosphocell decks. There's Thunder Nexus playing 1 bad card in Larvacell, and there's a deck trying to get to Phosphocell, and I think both of those decks are PP bad.
Yeah, I think it's cool that Thunder and other spirit types get more tools as a whole. Like having different deck identities is neat. But Phosphocell is just a little bit weaker than your just generic Thunder stuff. But speaking of 3-drops.
Speak about them. Tell them about the 3-drops.
One that is very hype right now and it stocks super through the roof. Tell me your guys' thoughts on Chronodile.
So Chronodile is a deck that if you're playing in the tournament that is coming up this weekend, or even if you are going to locals, you are more than likely going to see a lot of Chronodile. And the reason why is because for the first time in Elestrals history, we have a starter deck that is very strong, fresh out the box. You buy 1 of this, your deck is strong. You buy 2 of this, your deck is very good, completely able to compete. Obviously, it's going to be missing some tools here and there, but like you basically have a Water Nexus with a boss monster fresh out of the box. It's kind of insane. And the card itself is a big boss monster with protection and removal. Like, what more could you ask for in a boss monster, you know?
Chronodile's crazy. Like, basically, the only way to really consistently out it is to back row removal and then Elestro removal. But who's playing Thunderstorm? Who's playing Tornado? Like,
Lavalith is the only
it's
out.
just Lavalith. Like, the reality is it's just Lavalith that hard clears this. And looking at our list right now, our tier list, how many of these decks are actually playing Lavalith even inside? Like, it's like 5s, Bears, Fire Nexus probably, and Fungi block, I guess.
Do you guys think this deck beats 5s?
Absolutely.
Depends on the list. It depends on the list.
It's really rough. I think that like this deck beats a lot of what's on the list, but I think 5s is almost a uniquely bad matchup just because of how present Lavalith is. Unless you're playing the Caleb Dymax list, in which case I would say it's fair.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I
think we can. If nothing else, then because we expect to see a ton of this, I think we can put this in top tier.
I legitimately believe that this is a top tier deck because you will see a ton of this at tournaments, both on the local level and on like the webcam tourneys and stuff like that. You're going to be seeing a fuck ton of Chronodile, and we already saw like Water Nexus was like a top performer in the last format. Like, it is a good deck, and they finally gave the deck a win condition that isn't looking at the clock, so it's kind of insane.
We'll see a lot of Chronodile. One thing I thought we were going to see a lot of inside of the coming format, because everyone was really hyping it up, gassing this deck forever, was Wasp Ivy. Wasp Ivy is like a deck that I think a lot of people have been testing with. People were saying this is cracked. I can't believe this deck exists. I don't have a lot of faith in this deck. What about you guys?
I don't have a lot of faith in this deck.
No.
I think it
Too costly.
I think it is really good before people realize that it's a card that can be played. To me, the good builds of Wasp Ivy are like Earth Nexus has one random Elestral slot that I think you, Swole, were testing Mudlet in, is how you came to that conclusion. And like,
Yeah.
what if you put the Wasp Ivy in that slot is like kind of the theory. I think that those lists are like the Wasp Ivy lists I'm maybe scared of, but I've played a lot against like the dedicated, like, I'm going to mull till I get to Spine Inf, I'm going to make it happen lists, and they really do not inspire confidence. A combination of losing to like EQ on a lot of board states, a combination of losing to like your opponent refuses to attack into Argo on a lot of board states because they're trying to set up like a bag of wins. It's really, really rough.
The card is very outable, despite the fact that it does deal with like the trap cards and whatnot. I think it's the kind of deck that can absolutely steal games in the same way Frost Nexus and the Fungi Lock deck can. It's not a bad deck because, like we said, Earth does have a lot of good tools that you can slot into this deck. But do I think that it's a meta contender? By no means.
Hey, Frostfall flashback, Lockagon.
Yo,
Speaking of drops.
what if Chronodial didn't play a win con?
True.
It's not only bad Chronodial,
Why is
I
this on
feel
the
like
list?
it's bad Kuribus. Like, we could put this in non-competitive
Guys,
just
bad
because there is a better build of the deck that exists.
Yeah.
Here, let's talk
Let's
about
talk about,
Kuribus,
let's
shall
talk
we?
about the Kurbussi.
This card,
Kuribussi.
this
It's
is
really
like
good.
I agree. I agree that this card is very good.
This is the
Yeah.
the evolution of Water Nexus. That like I think Caleb's absolutely right that like a lot of the time the Chronodial decks are like Water Nexus with a win con, and I think there's an argument as to whether the win con should be Chronodial or Kuribus. The Chronodial decks I think are going to be successful are Turbo and Chronodial, but the Water Nexus decks that I think are going to be successful are going to be playing this card.
Like, this card is overall very good. I think this is a meta contender. Not only do I think it's a meta contender, I think that it's slapped like right next to fives, either like
Agreed.
right under it or
Agreed.
right over it. I think the
I
deck
would
is,
put it
like,
above
right there
fives,
with it.
honestly.
I would put it above
I
fives too.
think this is a top tier deck. I'm gonna fight all y'all.
Nay.
I
Yo.
think fucking go
this
for it.
deck
Put it up.
is easily top
True.
tier. I think
God,
Kuribus is
yes.
You're shit talking Rock and Hard Place. I think that card is insane. I understand that giving your opponent agency is bad, right? But the reality is, and I've been playing a lot of decks that play Rock and Hard between Kuribus, and I'm gonna also kind of hop in and bring Draking, my goat, up in this as
Yeah.
well.
We can't talk about these
So I
cards
think
that don't
that
exist yet.
both-
Wait, this is Konami? Oh,
Exploded.
never mind. We're good.
We're all in collective agreement this deck's good. There's literally only one man alive that I think that thinks this next deck is good. And
Yeah.
and it's
Shout
So
out to
Mike
my
Thomas.
boy,
my world's
Trishula
competitor,
TTV,
my
Mike Thomas. I
goat.
love you so much. You should have won Worlds, buddy, but you're gonna win Elestrals Worlds with Solar Nexus, apparently.
True.
Yeah.
It's true.
How do you
Um,
feel about Solar Nexus?
So, regardless of Trish Copium, you can't not look at the cards that are available to this strategy and not be like, there's gotta be something there. Like,
There
Depends on
is
how you build
something
Solar
there. That's the
Nexus.
thing.
It's copium, yeah.
I have flipped so hard. It's so over. We're so back so many times in this deck.
Yep.
And I'm back at like I think this deck's actually pretty solid. I think that Lustragon is a really solid payoff for the deck. It can get to it really consistently, and you can play this deck in a way where actually you're not. The issue with Solar is that you burn yourself to play the game pretty much, and. You know what? Dratora's actually just a pretty solid card, and
Well, so
Lustragon's
the
just kind of
thing-
crazy. Once you cut the fat, you get rid of the Leos. Any of the
cows and
Leos
the
are not worth
Celestial
playing.
Leos
The
and the-
cows. Once you get rid of all of that and you cut it down to the best cards in the deck, it's actually kind of nuts.
For my boy, I want to put it meta, but in my heart,
I feel like it has to be in Rogue, bro. I feel
I'm
like it's
saying
like one
meta.
of
We
these.
has to be meta, dude.
I
dude.
agree. I
feel like-
think this is way better than Wasp Ivy.
I feel like
No,
the
for
only reason
sure.
why I want to put it in meta is because like I'm getting gaslit by like the best gaslit of all time.
You know what? I'll take the gaslight. I'll sniff the coke.
Look,
We'll
you
put
can
it
we can
right
come
here.
back like you said in like a month, and we can
come
see.
back
who
with,
is
But it's a
with
Russian
Christians
dog.
and every webcam
Don't
tourney. We
recommend
can
it.
come back and
The
be like, this should
Leos,
have
I'd
been top
put in
tier
Rogue.
Dota with the
That's just
fucking
my
y'all saying.
thoughts.
Yeah.
We can come back.
Moving from a deck that Trish is coping on to a deck that the Knots are coping on.
I think this deck is fire, bro.
This deck's so
Rhino
crazy.
No, this deck is Frost.
This deck's so crazy.
It's the Rhino Sect is this deck fucking cooks, bro. This deck's so
It
fucking.
has Rhino
You're like,
Sex.
you're
Rhino
trying,
Sex, let's
you
go.
are absolutely trying to not break out laughing while trying to pill people on the deck. Come on.
It's so okay.
I can say it with no face. I love this
I'll
deck.
say it.
I've played it so many times. It's so good.
Joseph, I'll say it. When you draw Rhino Sect, this deck is here. When you don't draw Rhino Sect, the deck is here.
Well,
Disagree. No, I'm gonna fully disagree with that, because if you
Fair.
are not seeing Rhinosect turn 5, 6, 7, it doesn't matter, because all of the guys in your deck generate advantage for you, and that's why I think that the list that we put up on the channel is really solid. It's because I'll go to bat. Boom Bat is fucking Dryden. If you don't out it, you will get popped again on your next turn. That card is really good. Being able to ascend
Boom Bat
over
is
an
very
Arrow
good, I
Mare
agree.
is
Yeah.
really good. And almost all of the cards in that deck that aren't artifact becoming guys are guys that generate advantage when you ascend over an Arrow Mare or something like
I
that.
agree.
Yep. Finally,
Last but not least,
The greatest deck of all time.
the Geist.
you buy the incorrect starter deck. Damn, that sucks.
Hey,
Well,
wait
no,
a minute.
there's
You got
potential.
Vargas decks.
Terrace, you got your dense fog. You know that's
True.
We
You're so
got some
right.
good
We can
counter
put
runes.
this in non-competitive, right?
The thing that's really funny is a lot of people have been saying that this deck is like a slow control deck. You just sit on the Pharaoh Geist, whatever. I think this deck is meant to be played
It's an
hella
aggro deck.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
you
not
play it aggro because you put your opponent on a clock, and they're also on a clock due to the effect of Pharaoh Geist. It just feels like actually turboing Pharaoh Geist itself feels harder than turboing Celestlio. So like
Yeah.
the payoff just isn't there, you know? The only good payoff is that it doesn't lose to shield, I guess.
It's a deck that's like a weird time bomb.
Set 4 gonna be crazy.
To 4, yeah. Like set 4, or even let's say October 1st at the earliest. You know, we did get Shattered Stars stuff out. We know that we have, you know, more lunar inside of the card pool, which is great. Right now, non-competitive Rogue if you really want to push it, I guess. But like, I'll be watching.
All right.
Well, I
Also-
think at the end of the day, we have our tier list, and I think that this is
Pretty
like a
solid
pretty
tier list.
solid one.
We're only
I think that we
two
have a
of the
very
meta.
good grasp on
Meta goes
where,
till
at the very
December,
least,
I
this first
believe.
tournament we're getting this weekend is going to
So
shape
we'll
up
see
to
how
look
this
like.
adapts and changes.
I'm willing to be pleasantly surprised by some of the decks that we have in the meta contender. If people choose to bring them, but I think overall this is more.
I'm also
than
curious to
likely
see
what
what
we
other decks
be
will come
seeing for the
about from this and
upcoming
how
Yeah,
often
this
they'll update
looks
this list.
looks about right. Looks kind of terrifying. A lot of good decks at the top, but a ton of decks right below it. So good luck
Yeah.
on your testing, everyone.
Hell
I'm
yeah!
curious to see what will be played this weekend.
Any final words?
Bear's best deck, baby.
I will be
Subscribe
streaming
to Word Read.
Saturday. I'll probably stream all my notches for the tournament.
True.
If you are interested
So
in
that'll
picking
be
up
fun
any
to
cards
watch.
for yourself from
Please come out and
Daybreak
support
to be
me
able to
and have some
build
fun
some of
watching
the
some
decks that we
cool
have here,
matches.
make sure to check out our affiliate link in the description to help support the channel, and we
Okay.
appreciate it a lot.
Alright, that's it for reacting. Now it's time to start the Pokemon segment, and obviously we'll start off with Pokedoku. I only do Pokedoku with you guys, so this will be fun. A fire ground type. New, I'm trying to think. Hold on. A Mega Evolve ground type. Swampert is a good one. Mega Camerupt is another. %. Ground Form Paldea. Ground plus Area 0 DLC. You want a ground type that's native to this region. I would want to say roller, but it's not a ground type. Or is it? No, I don't think so. Ground Paldea type. Ground Paldea. Whoopa, whoopa, whoopity doo. Do I want Whoopa or do I want Claude? Let's go with Claude. You gonna go Clodsire. There you go. 14% wanted it. Alright, Paldea Dark type. King Gambit. 6% went him. Wow, really? Only 6%? Grass Paldea. Scovalent and Capsicid. Wow, 13% said Capsicid? Man, I really thought it'd be lower. Mega Evolved Grass. Venusaur. There's 7% Firegrass. Is it only Scovillain? I can't think of any other Firegrass. Oh, there might be some, I guess. Dark Fire? Dark Fire. I had one come through my head and then I just completely blanked on it. We'll come back to you. Mega Evolve Dark. Mega Dark. Primals do not count as megas. Good to know. Dark Mega, Dark Mega. Oh, Houndoom. Yeah. 29%. Cool. Fire Ground. I don't know if Newell starts off Fire Ground, but we'll... Oh, it does. Okay. So now we need Fire Dark. Why is this drawing a blank for me? Oh, well, I mean, there's Houndoom, so let's go Houndour. Yeah, I did it. Alright. So they went Camerupt to Camerupt. Great Tusk. I won with Newell, so I won that, and I won with Clodsire. Houndoom, Houndoom. I did that. Oh, well, I went Houndour, so I won that. Iron Jugulis. I won with that one. Everyone with Capsicid. Then they went Mega Sceptile, and then Scovalent. What was the least common? Newell I did. Ooh, okay. Houndour, cool. Oh, yeah, I guess that does count. Oh, Diplin? Alright. Makes sense. Alright. That's it for Pokedoku. And now I'm going to play the trailer. Let's play the trailer. Try to put it in the screen, the trailer doesn't give away too much of things, but hopefully, so when you log in, you have to sign in or whatever. You have options on the side. You have your profile, which gives you your name, what level you are, your points, how many wins you have. So I've played a lot of games and I've only won 5 times. And it gives you your game history. It tells you like what position you place, like you top 7, top 3, top 3, top 4, top 5, top 4, top 3, top 1. I won once with Ground. Then I won once with Psychic Fairy, which was a fun comp. And I think I won it one time with Dark, and then I don't remember the others. But you can change your name at any time. You can choose from avatars, which you unlock from opening packs. You get titles where you have to unlock them for doing certain things. Like for Kindler, you need max energy with fire types, which means you need 8 or 9 fire types on your team to get it. A lot of these are pretty free, but some are not. You have gadgets where you can choose your music in game. You have team planner where you prepare your composition in advance. However, some of these you don't get unlocked till you level up. And you level up by playing matches. So you have your booster packs, which you can get by clicking unknown. That'll come racing by on your screen. And you open packs. So like for example, your collection. Here are some that I have to pay for. So like I have a 250 shards, so I paid 150 to have that be a shiny. So when it shows up in the buying screen, it'll be the shiny version. And then I have another 100 shards, which I'll buy the angry emote. Sometimes the game doesn't register because there's a lot of people on the server. So sometimes you have to refresh your screen or go to a different server. So you have 8 people in a room, so I'll do a quick play. I don't really join anyone's specific rooms. I like to do the quick play. So looking at the rank system or rankings, we have a decent amount of high people in here, which means it's going to be rough because they know the game better. But I will try my best. I really wish they would kind of match it a lot better to where if you're between 900 and 1,000 elo, you're in one room, and then 1,000 and 1,100 in one room. Because having someone be 1,200 elo when most people aren't that high, it's a little ridiculous and kind of unfair. Because it kind of shows that you know the game better, but it also depends. It's also random and how you build your stuff. Let me try to make it so you can see easier. Okay, yeah, that kind of makes the screen a little easier to see. This is your shop. Hold on, I gotta see what I can buy real quick. We're gonna go grass to start off with. Let's start with you. You're a baby, gonna put you here. This is your synergies. Each synergy does certain things on level up. So right now I have 2 grass. If I get 3 grass, I restore 8 HP every 2 seconds, and a berry tree will pop up. And that'll allow me to get berries to attach to Pokemon. They're one-time use. Alright, so we got another grass, which we'll put in right now to get the 3 synergy to get a berry tree growing. Berries are right here. You can't see where my mouse is in this game, which is kind of crazy, but you can see where I hover. I'll get another dark type for when I eventually do stuff. I'm not gonna get this, but I won't spend. The way you get money, so each stage you get 5 gold plus 1 extra if I won the previous fight, and you get a streak going, you get a bonus. Whether that be a win or a defeat streak, you get up to 5. And then the more money you save per turn, the more money you'll get as interest. So you'll gain 1 bonus gold per 10 gold you've saved, and you get up to 5 bonus income at 50 saved. My personal favorite of all the synergies is Dark, and I will show you why when I get more Darks added to the team. So when you see Dark Pokemon have critical hits, are more powerful and more frequent, and then they also jump to the farthest target reachable. Now, there's a lot of Pokemon that can attack from a range, which I will show you. Yeah, I have one that attacks from like a range of 3. My desktop. Pardon me. Items. Let's go with Twisted Spoon to give to Soldu. Let's add. Oh, well, I can't. So, it's kind of small. I really wish we could make this a little bigger. So, you can right click over a Pokemon or hover over it, and it tells you their stats. You see the little like firecracker that shows how much their range is. So their attack range is only a 1. But when you hover over a Litwick, like his is 3, so you want him in the back row. So when you place his 3 rows. I know I'm kind of bad at explaining this. I'm sorry. It's kind of hard to explain this game because the nuances of it. And then when you're playing the game, if you're curious what Pokemon prefer what items, you go to Meta. You go to Pokemon Report, and you can search up their names. So search for Pokemon. Let's go with Shiftry. He prefers a Revive, an Attack, and a Claw. Sometimes the game freezes just because of how big and laggy the server is because there's so many people playing. That's why they've recently been putting out other servers for other countries to kind of cut down. They're not looking to expand the one server because that just costs money, so people are hosting private servers. Some games I like to spend my money, which I shouldn't, and then others I like to save. It all depends on what roles and stuff I get. Ooh, a heart scale. A heart scale with you gives me that. I don't need. Okay. Oh, we're lagging again. Look at that. I'll need a Litwick. And to evolve a Pokemon, you require 3 of that same unit. There we go. I try to stay above 10. You can lock your shop so you can keep. And then the mons you don't need, you can hover over them and hit E to get rid of them. And so at the end of the round, when the shop refreshes, because it's locked, the 1 Duskull will stay. And then these 5 slots will fill in with new Pokemon. So with this, I can give it a heart scale to get a max revive. But I think what I want to... No, I can give you a max revive. We'll give it to you. I do have a Chandelier in the back, which I want to try to get a Fossil, because a Fossil mixed with this create a Darkstone, which I can then give to Chandelier to make him a Dark type to increase my Dark's energy. But if I get a Magnet first, I think the main priority is getting C-Dot's items. Because C-Dot will be my main carry for a while. Okay. Oh, that's perfect. There's a Growlithe, but I don't need Growlithe, so I'll just resell. I'll get Duskull down. There's a Ditto. Ditto can create a copy of a Pokemon unless it's a unique or whatever. However, yeah, sure. We'll just create the Duststone and give it to Chandelier now. And then give him that item. Because then I'll just replace Duskull and put you on the team. I think I can get rid of you. Put you on. Now my Dark types have synergy. I now have 2 Ghosts. Where for the ghosts have a 25% to silence opponent, and then those with the highest defense at level 2 and special defense lose 5 of it and flinches. So they lose a lot. I'm not going to log down my shop because my shop doesn't have anything I want to buy. And then I'm trying to save up to get to level 5, which will allow me to put a 5th unit on the field. Right now I could probably get a Dust Cloth by using the Ditto to make a 3rd Dust Skull. But if I'm not going to get any C-Dots, I want to try to save it for C-Dots. Or to make a shift tree. Also on the right, when you see the other profiles, you can click on them and go to the pages and see them fight and see what teams they're using. I don't use it as much as I should because it kind of helps you build your teams and move units around. Now the Litwick. Alright, that'll be the 5th. I'll keep an Eevee just in case. Do I really not have any other? Alright, well I'll leave all C-Dot there. For a 5th? Oh well, I know I said I wasn't going to do this, but I do need a 5th. And Larvitar does add to my dark synergies. So what better way to add to my dark synergies than with that? I will eventually have to get rid of Hoppip because I no longer need him for synergy purposes. But pretty soon there will come a stage where it tells you where you can pick a portal and it'll take you there and you get a free Pokemon from it. You can choose from it. Normally it takes synergies from everyone that they pick and then you try to pick the portal that has the energy type that matches your synergy that you need. So right now I'm in 4th place with 94 HP. Nice energy. Good to see you. Alright, well I don't need anything here, so I'll wait and save. So you'll see Gyarados, he's a boss. When you beat the boss, 3 items will pop up and you can pick from those items. Sometimes they're helpful for you, then other times they're not, which is really unfortunate. But you gotta make do with what you have. So the next item I want for Lampent, once it becomes a Chandelier, is either the upgrade or something else. I'd have to look back at Chandelier. It's been a while since I looked at Chandelier to see what he needs. Now, even though I showed you like what items are the most popular on the Pokemon, doesn't mean I always go for those 3 because sometimes I like to mix things up. It all depends on what items I get. I try to get 1 or 2 items to match depending on what they are. None of these are helpful for me, so I'll get black glasses because if I get a magnet, I can get a 2nd item needed. I don't want to go ghost, so I'll refresh 1. No, nothing here. I'll go 2 more in. Nothing. Okay. It's really unfortunate. Well, I'm not in the area that's known for dark types, so I guess that makes sense. But I was hoping for maybe some like Quillfish, that Hisuian Quillfish to show up to get him added on. Just at least to get rid of Hoppip and add a 5th Dark, because a 5th Dark gives me 40% crit chance and 80% crit power. So if I had that, I'd be even more on a roll for Nuzleaf. Or if I get another fossil, I can make another stone and give it to Eevee to evolve into Umbreon. Because then once I have an Umbreon, my Mons get a boost. I'm honestly probably going to lose this just because the synergy allows me to get paralyzed, which makes my moves weaker. And then Chikorita is just healing moves. Yeah. Oh, I was able to take out Chikorita at least. If I can take out Oddish, we should be fine. There we go. Okay. That's why I'm glad I had the revive for that. Alright. Refresh. There's a C-Dot. I can make a second Nuzleaf. I will wait. We'll see what items I get from beating the Gyarados, if I can beat the Gyarados. I would hope I can, but we shall see. Someone evolved into a Pikachu. I think the one after is where you get the unique pick. Yeah. So Huppet will probably be swapped out after this because the first portal will appear. Hopefully I get a dark portal. The best case dark for this situation. So you'll have your commons and then you'll have your rares. And then the row right above the legendaries, those are your uniques. You usually get one of those of your synergy when you pick the right portal. So my best bet for that portal would probably be Sableye or Hoopa because they're of two of the Dark Ghosts. And that boosts both of my synergies. Would I get another thing of black glasses? Okay. A spare pair of black glasses isn't bad. No, there's only 2 portals that are dark. Okay. So when you first start off, the countdowns are usually the same for each Pokemon. However, the later on you go, the higher up in position you are if you're first. Your timer to pick a portal and items are longer to give the people in like last place a better chance of catching up. Oh, Spiritomb was another good one. But Absol is really good too for dark purposes, for dark synergy. I think I want Absol for this one. I'm going to sell this, and then I'm going to go to the meta, Pokemon Report, Absol. I'm pretty sure I have an idea what he wants. Yeah, those 2 crit items and a shell belt to heal. Makes sense. I'm going to refresh one to heal. Or not heal, but buy. Nothing? Man, okay. You 2 create a wonder box. I don't really need a wonder box right now. Everyone else is at level 5. Well, third place is at level 6 because how much econ do they have? Only 2 gold. So they spent a lot of their gold to get to level 6 to get an additional mod. Everyone else, your level 6 was still 50? What? Your items are cracked. That Dragapult is going to be a problem. I'm going to lose this one. Your Dark Synergy is probably better than mine. Even though, whatever. Excuse me, chat. That's the only downside of this game is sometimes the timer takes too long. when it has no need to be. Alright. I will get a Combi just to sell Combi. Just to look. Alright, so we have another Shandy. It's really unfortunate I'm not getting my darks. Especially when I'm in a dark zone. Okay, high Levitar. You're not who I want though. Oh, well, you technically create the second item. I will give it to you. Not use any more items. So what Reserclaw did, it gave it 50% more crit chance, so which means at this point it's a 90% crit chance, so it should always crit. And then on top of that, it'll get 80% crit power. At this point, I almost feel like dropping Nuzleaf and just going all in on Absol. And giving him the max revive. Because at this point, my unique will be my carry. Oh, game kind of froze again, as it does. Alright. Back in the third place I go. Honestly, this Rattata might come in handy. I don't think I want to go Eevee anymore. Just because of how long it's taking. Oh, cool, there's a Pupitar. There's one magnet. I would like that magnet. Doesn't mean I'm going to get that magnet. I might get the magnet. No. Oh, well, there's two magnets. Never mind. Alright. I was able to get that magnet, which means I can then get that. Which means I'm going to give it to Absol at this point, because Absol is just going to be my carry unit. That gives me 100% more crit power, which is going to make him a little bit more rough to deal with. Alright, 37. I'll spend that econ. I'll add a 6 dark. I now have 2 wild, which means they get plus 30 attack and move speed. I think that's only for wild mons themselves. But in the meantime, while I'm waiting, we go down to 20. I could go Impidimp for another dark, but I'll wait. Okay. Nothing from that. But this is where my Absol should start getting real cracked kills. What was Absol's third item? Shell Bell for healing. Okay. Dano. Dano works. Another Larvitar. Okay. I think I want to replace you two. Sell you. I think I want to sell you. Next week, after this, we have Mewtwo, which is another free item. That'd be really hard if I get the item I'm looking for. If I get a shell belt, absolutely just completely correct. I somehow lose this. Yep. Okay. Happens. I'm in fourth now. We'll tie for third. Nope. Back in third because the other one, the person who was in third lost. Cool. Interesting. Alright. Why is dark so hard today? I don't understand. Another dust call. Oh, dark is really hard right now. I don't know why dark isn't popping up enough, even though I'm in a dark cave. Let's see what items I get from this. A magnet doesn't help me right now, but good to know. Magnet can make a lot of good things. I don't think it makes a shell belt though, but there's a round where we'll get upgraded items that are already combined. And so hoping shell belt is one of those items for that. Okay. Stage 15. Miracles, he doesn't give me any charcoal, doesn't give me what I want. I'll pick charcoal, even though that's not what I want. No darks here. Refresh. Another dust skull. Okay. I don't think we need you right now. A Dano. Okay, we'll keep. Then we'll refresh once. And a Shandy. Alright. We'll make you a chandelier now. That should upgrade the powerhouse right there. We'll just make you 15 for OCD purposes. Okay, I was worried for a second because of the illumination. But my crit team did pretty well for that, so okay. How much was you doing? You were doing 184? Okay. Can't refresh, refresh. Okay. Trying to save. You're at level 6 econ, you're at level 6 econ, you're at level 7 econ, you're at 6, you're at 7, you're at 7, you're at 7. It's interesting to see the people that are at the lower, that are at higher econs are the ones that are below us. I guess because we're managing our money better. Or I don't know. Or they're wasting all their money on getting in that next slot versus saving and upgrading their mons when they come in. I don't know. I've never really noticed a correlation between the two. Okay. Alright, cool. That was... Oh, he's last place anyway. Okay. I thought I was one of the top people. I was gonna be really happy that I was able to beat one of the top people. I mean, I'm close to them. It's not like they're undefeated. There's been a few times where I was at this point at 100 still, which was impressive. Ooh, Houndour, Fire Dark. I might keep you. So you, I need Spoon. Give me Spoon. Spoon, spoon. Give me spoon, 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 spoon. Spoon, 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 spoon. Spoon, 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 spoon. Nope. You're gonna get, oh, nope, both spoons got taken. Okay. Well, you I can make the other oh yeah, I definitely need a spoon. Spoon would is gonna have that too. Okay. You, but I can make a thing. Oh, I need another magnet. Okay. And give it to you. Why? Cool. Let's see what that does. Look at everyone's econ. You're 7 with 49. You're 6 with 50. How do you have 49? Okay. Whatever. I think I know what he's doing. Nope. Okay. Nothing here that I want. That's another Houndour. That's fine. I'll sell for 3 gold to get me back to 20. I'll play the weight game. Try to get some better. I almost feel like no, because I kind of want to wait. Because if I can't wait to get Houndour added on for my 7 Dark type. Normally I get tons of C dots. Normally I have no issues getting the shift tree, but this run I had problems getting a shift tree. Unfortunate. I'm gonna lose this one too. Okay. I'm still in 3rd after this though. No, I'm in 5th now because the other 2 won. Okay. That's rough. It's really rough. Sometimes multiple synergies are a whole lot better, but it's hard trying to balance out the synergies. I will wait till after Lugia to get an item, then whatever my increased econ is to get to level 7. But we're about to go to a new portal. What would be really awesome is if the Tower Duo is shiny, because then I get a shiny item. Which is a mechanic where the bosses can sometimes be shiny and they drop like rare items. Such as like a Dynamax Band, a Gold Candy, which will automatically evolve a Pokemon. So let's say there's a Mon I have that can become a Mega, like a Houndoom, and then I use it on Houndoom, it becomes a Mega Houndoom. That'd be really awesome, because I don't think I've ever played with any Megas yet. I played with Primal Groudon because their items are just casual combination items. They're not anything fancy. A spoon. You gave my shell bell. Alright, that's good. The item I needed. You great shell bell. How many dark portals? There's 1 dark portal, 2 dark portal. Okay. Give me my dark portal. Come on. I hate when it lags like this. Because sometimes I get the wrong portal because of the lag. You can also not choose a portal and take a risk and get randomly warped somewhere. It looks like we're going Guzzy. Okay. Alright, Guzzy. Guzzy, Guzzy, Guzzy. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Refresh. Cool. We're gonna lock. We're gonna sell these. We're gonna keep you two. I think. Do I want Guzzlord in the front because he's a tank? Well, he's not really a tank. Okay. But we're now maxed on Dark 7, which is 50% crit chance and 100% crit power. So for Absol, his crit power is like 200, and his crit chance is through the roof. Oh, so I want to try taking a quick peek. So I'm in 4th place right now, 1 behind 3rd. Not too bad. I'm probably going to end this round and this game in like 3rd. Which isn't bad for top 3 considering I don't have everything I need. Okay, cool. I'm glad I won that. I didn't think I was going to. I mean, I'll buy both of you. Oh, it looks like there's an announcement. After this, we might jump back to Elestrals to take a look at it. I'll buy you just because I'm curious. Oh, there's a C-Dot. Even though... Oh, that's cool. No? Okay. If we get one more Dust Call, we'll have a Dusclops. So I'm excited for that. After this, we also get an item wheel. I'm back in 3rd. Yeah, 1st and 2nd don't really lose a lot because they're still at their max point. We'll see how this goes. Yeah, no. That's rough. Now I'm in 4th. Yeah, after this match, I'll go and see what that update is, and then we'll jump back into it. I'm curious to see what his announcement is. A little thing to mention playtesting, but I'm sure there's other announcements too. Hopefully about TCG Player and maybe the app. Come on. What items do we have? Another Shell Bell. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind getting Shell Bell. Cool. Don't need Houndoom. Cool, I'll take. That's my second. Even then, I don't think that's enough because I still need like 2 or 3 more. Yeah. Also you. Also you. Normally I'd save my econ and try to get 8, but at this point I don't think I'm gonna get 8. So at this point I'm just gonna spend till I see stuff that I want. No. No. Okay. Have no money, cause I'm broke. Have no money. Or at least when I get top 4. Cause top 4 you usually gain a little elo. So when you get bottom 8 or bottom 4 that you lose the elo. If I remember correctly. Rock me better. Ain't nobody. This is against red. We'll see how well I do. Cool. No issues there. Do I want to swap? I might swap Hydreigon out or Zweilous for Houndoom because it gives me 2 extra Hound hours, which I think is really cool. It gives me more units to attack with. Oh, it looks like Noah lost to someone. Probably second place. Well, there's that. Let's swap you guys out. Refresh. That's another U. No. I'm so close to 2 fully evolved Mormons that would really help me in damage. Ain't nobody knows me better. Okay. I really thought I was going to win that, but I guess I'm not. Alright, my goal is still top 4. Alright, top 4. Goal achieved. Can I at least get 3rd place? No. Okay. Yeah, you guys are both at 9. Well, he's at 9, here at 9. I'm only at 7, he's at 8. I don't even know what Guzzlord wants. best item for you, so I'll give it to you. No, 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 well, no. You don't do anything for me. Okay. I'm probably going to get wiped right here. And then I'm going to go to the bathroom. And then we will watch the update video. And then we'll come back and do at least one more round of Pokemon Auto Chess. Sounds like a plan? Alright. Next match. Oh yeah, no, looking at this, I'd be amazed if I won this. You know, no, no, no. Yep, alright. Knows me better. Ain't nobody. I got top 4, that's all that matters. Leave game. Ooh, excuse me. Leave game, leave game. Bop, 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 bop. I'll go back to this loading screen. And I'll be right back. chat, I'm back. Let's see what the Elestrals update is. Ooh, Words has a thing for copy bear burn. Elestrals. Oh, here we go.
We've got a ton of epic reveals today for the world of Elestrals, so let's just dive in. If you're not aware, every single week on Tuesday and Wednesday nights, we hold weekly webcam and digital casual
They're tons of fun.
events. These are free to enter, and
I
you can
haven't
actually
did
obtain
all
caster
casuals
coins
yet.
that can be used to redeem awesome prizes like our stamped promos, which are coming to the shop very soon. Super duper epic, just one of the awesome, amazing, community-driven things we do. And our events have actually had over 50 players in recent weeks, so come hang out in our weekly webcam events. They're a ton of fun. You can do that by simply joining our Discord server at discord.gg/Elestrals. We're doing a community design stellar event right now for Stellar Cataran, and you guys can also vote for that and submit your submissions in Discord, so make sure you guys join up. We recently linked up our online store to a handful of social media platforms like X/Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook, so you can purchase products directly through those social media websites if you so want to. And we're also looking for new playtesters for set 6 of Elestrals, which sounds nuts. I just spent the last week of my life writing set 6, and I tell you, it's spicy. I know that sounds crazy because it's so far ahead in the future, but we need people to help us test it. So if you want to test it and you have card game experience, you can play like 40 games
but then
a month.
the first
is what
month
we're
you're
looking
not
for
allowed to.
minimum. You like coming up
when
with
the
cool
section's out
effects
to
and
be in
ideas, and you
tournaments,
love playing
tournaments way too
Elestrals,
much.
and you want to get some sweet special prizes, because we do hook you guys up. Of course, our testers get hooked up with some really cool stuff. If you're interested in that, you guys can fill out the form in the description
I mean,
below.
that might be worth
Put
it
in
then.
your application to become a set 6 tester
But
for
I think I wanna
Elestrals.
do
Man,
that
I want
once
to
I'm
say the
off of
name of
this
the set
road
so bad,
schedule.
but I can't. It's going to be awesome, so you should apply. It'll be a lot of fun if that's your kind of thing. Plus, you get to play against me like hundreds of times in a month, because I play in the testing group all the time. It's awesome. I've been loving seeing the posts on social media. It seems as though month 8 of Shattered Stars has been the most hyped month yet, and that reverse stellar
I'm in the
bracket
video,
is so
guys.
dang good, man.
We'll go
I
back
love
and
it so
be
much.
like, oh,
Big
excuse
shout outs
me.
to all the people finding those reverse stellar drakings, and if your package is still on the way, hang tight, but lots of awesome stuff. And a big shout outs to Nikki Town for pulling the first stellar drak hit, number 67 out of 99. What an incredible hit for you, and I just love seeing these. The full art hasn't been found the day I'm recording this, but if it has been found, we'll pop it up on the screen to the person who finds it. Congratulations to you. I'm gonna believe that someone found it by now. Super hype, man. And don't forget, you have a chance to get so many great cards to Stained Glass Spectress. You've got the Artemis Divine Statue, and this is early access to Artemis, which will be legal on October 1st. We won't see Artemis until Moonrise releases in January, so you really want to snag this month of Shattered Stars. And I tell you what, it's only going to get better from here.
You said January?
Month 9 is going to be nuts. We're going to talk a little bit about that. But before I do that, we also like to hook up our Shattered Stars members with really awesome benefits every single month. And this month, we have an incredible benefit for you guys. All you gotta do is step 1, be logged into your Caster Club account that you have your Shattered Stars subscription under. If you don't have a Shattered Stars subscription, you can subscribe right now. It's $15 to get 3 packs delivered to your door every single month. And if you subscribe today, you'll get the Lunar pack. So you haven't missed out on Lunar, you can still get it. And you'll also be enrolled for next month's celebration. Then you'll actually have this extra bonus where every $100 you spend up to $1,000 on our website on any of our products, we're gonna send you a $10 gift card in your email for every single $100 you spend. So if you buy a booster box, we're gonna send you a $10 gift card. If you buy 2 booster boxes, we're gonna send you a $20 gift card. You see how the math works. It's very, very epic. I think you guys are gonna love this. And again, this is a way for us to give back and say thank you to our Shattered Star subscribers. You're practically paying for your Shattered Star subscription if you get like a booster box, basically. You know what I'm saying? Like it's an incredible deal. All you gotta do is, like I said, just be logged in. Spend over $100 on the store, and you'll get a gift card immediately emailed to you afterwards. If you have any issues, just reach out to our support team at support@elestrals.com. We'll take care of you. Just make sure you sign into your Caster Club account that's subscribed to Shattered Stars. Like I said, it is not too late to get involved in Shattered Stars Month 8 Lunar, so do it while you can and lock in those packs for Month 9 as well.
Okay, no,
the
that
celebration
works.
month.
That
and the
lets me go
last
back
thing
and
I'll
pick up
say
some
about Month 8 Lunar, because it is so dang good,
booster
is those cards
packs.
are available now to play in our digital app, which is really awesome. So whether you're a subscriber or not, you can utilize the new cards.
Is it
We just
digital or
released
is
them
it
early for
located
everyone
this
this
one?
month. So
Or
that
something?
way,
I have to
even
look
if you're
it
not
up.
a subscriber, you can still play with Artemis and stuff like that. Those will be legal on October 1st. Now it's time to talk month 9, our biggest month yet, the celebration pack of Shattered Stars to cap off the first 8 months of an incredible set that we've released. And I gotta tell you, man, it is the spiciest one yet. You do not want to miss out on celebration month 9. And of course, that's gonna be next month. We're gonna be shipping it. We've got Polzer, you've seen the Nebuleo, you've seen the Necrup, and you've seen the Reverse Stellar Smokey. I'm gonna reveal one more Reverse Stellar today, because there's more than one Reverse Stellar. Oh my gosh, let's do it. And it is Reverse Stellar Cyanectar. And man, oh man, you guys have no idea how badly I want this card. So you're gonna see me chasing it, man.
Oh wow,
listen, I want Stellar Cyanectar. I want a playset of Stellar Cyanectar. Spivey is so dark.
Oh, it's a red ant.
I want it in
That's
my
awesome.
collection.
That's
I want to
awesome.
get this. I love this Stellar so much. I hope you guys do too, man. And that's 2 Stellars already, 2 Reverse Stellars in month 9 celebration. And I'll tell you, there's more. That's not even all of them. That's not even all of them. Just hang tight. We're going to have an announcement later this month where we break it all down for month 9 and what you can expect from celebration. But again, let's keep the hype going, man. Month 8 has been so crazy. I can't wait to see more of your polls. And get ready for month 9. It's gonna be even crazier. I've got a few more things I want to cover, but they're so incredibly important. Organized play has begun across the world. We've got over 100 stores hosting organized play events, which you guys can view on our Play Network at play.elestrals.com. And you can actually see everything going on there, including those digital and casual events that I mentioned earlier in the video. So go check out our store locators, see if there's any stores near you doing organized play, and if not, let's make it happen. We send them these incredible tournament kits with a bunch of packs in it that they can give you for entering the events, and we send it to the stores for free. So like, the stores win big because they just get these free incredible packs that you really want and I think are dope, and you're gonna want to go to the store and grab them and compete in the events. It's a very simple thing, and I hope we can make it happen. So check out your local stores for organized play. It's been nuts. It's been so cool to see people opening those tournament packs and getting crazy good pulls, and everyone celebrating just how welcoming and wonderful the environment is for people going to LGS and Elestrals. And I want to take a second here, and this is off my notes and stuff, but I just want to take a second and say how much I appreciate how awesome you guys have been. I saw so many comments on social media of people being like, yo, I went to my LGS and it was so welcoming and it was so diverse and there was such a great group of people that were all just wanting to be there and be happy and play Elestrals. And I just want to say, you guys rock. Like, seriously, you guys are so awesome. The fact that that's the compliments that we're getting as a community, that's what we represent. We represent fun. We represent welcoming. We represent the new era of card games that care about the players and want to have a good time and bring people together. That is what Elestrals is all about. So big shout outs to y'all for embodying that every single day at the local game store, because it makes such a world of a difference, man. Like, I just want you guys to know how much that's seen by me and how appreciated I am, because you guys rock, man. Like, that's just so awesome to hear that kind of feedback. So keep that up. Head to your LGS. Let's have some fun with it. And we got a couple things going on. Listen, you can submit your local game store to us. If they're not an Elestrals partner, tell us who they are. Submit your local game store. There's a form in the description below. If we partner with them, like, we're going to reach out to them, and then you can help us. We'll contact you, and you can help us, and we'll partner with them. If we partner with them, we're going to send you a free booster box. Like, we're going to just send you a booster box to say thank you. So
I think
help
there's
us
a few
do
more
it. We
shops
want to
that I
work
have
with your
to
stores.
send
We want
out.
to uplift the local communities. We want to make it happen and share this awesome experience we have with as many people as we can. And you guys are killing it. So I just want to say thank you and just remind you guys that you can do that. So don't miss out on that. We can make that happen, and we still have room to get new stores in for organized play. It's not too late. Even though it started, it's not too late to get those stores involved. I want to give a big shout out to Jayak, our most recent tournament winner, who did get an invite to the Elestriad, which is very cool. Elestriad Season 3 is going to be kicking off sooner than you think, actually. It'll be a while before you guys see the first round, but it's going to be awesome. I'll tell you, it's the craziest season we've ever done. I'm so excited for what we're doing with Elestriad. And the 14th of this month is our first Daybreak tournament. And I'll tell you guys, listen, you guys have been crushing it. Our tournaments have been getting bigger and bigger every single time. This one is monumental because it's a new set. It's really the next chapter for Elestrals. And I want to see you guys turn up like something fierce. We've got some incredible prizes like uncut sheets. You've got an opportunity to get incredible rankings on the leaderboard for stamp promos, which, by the way, that Golden Fleece stamp promo from last season looks incredible. And we're going to have new awesome prizes coming for you guys soon, so stay tuned for that. But enter that tournament on September 14th. Go compete, have some fun. It's a webcam tournament. Get your games in now with Daybreak, and let's find out what the top deck is going to be in Daybreak, what the metagame is going to look like. It's going to be so exciting. One of my favorite things about card games is this, right? Finding out what decks excel, what decks are good, and then what happens next. How do players adjust to that? That, to me, just, man, it gets me really jazzed up about card games. So I just love it. So I can't wait to see it, and I hope you guys will join the tournament and have some fun and compete and just enjoy playing Elestrals, because that's what we're here for. I'll have a separate video on Elestrad Season 3, but there's also a playlist you guys can check out for Season 2 if you missed any of the action. But again, Elestrad Season 3 is going to be crazy, and of course, our tournaments are going to be nuts. So make sure you guys enter that Daybreak tournament, and stay tuned, because we got a lot coming. And last, but certainly not least, I just want to leave you with this. We have an update video coming on Monday next week, and it is going to be one of our biggest update videos we have ever done. I have some monumental news and initiatives that Elestrals is going to be rolling out, and I cannot wait to share it with you, and I cannot wait to team up to create something so incredible that no one would have ever expected we would have gotten to at this point, and I just can't wait to show you guys what we're cooking. So stay tuned. We got a big video coming next week, and we're gonna do some nuts stuff, man. It's gonna be wild. If you guys aren't ready for this one, I think this is gonna be it. This is gonna be really cool. So I can't wait to share more. I appreciate y'all. Thank you guys so much for supporting Elestrals. Again, take advantage of the Shattered Stars deal, the gift card deal that we have going on. Elestriad, sign up for the Daybreak tournament, all that good stuff. The Cataran Stellar competition. Sign up to be a play tester. Check out our shops on all of our social media pages. I think I covered most of the things. You guys are great. Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all, and I'll see you guys on the next update.
Alrighty. Good update. Can't wait to see what Monday's update, because he said it's bigger. Alright, back to Auto Chess. We have time for one more game before I call it a day. Refresh the screen. Oh, we have some booster packs to open. One booster pack. Pidgeotto, Mashal, Froakie, Zerkatry, Lantern, Dragapult, Togekiss, Steka, Alakazam, Moltres. Not bad. Could be better. Quick play. Oh, I did lose a few ELO from that one. Okay. I guess it's top 3 is where you keep ELO. The rest you lose. $11.51, $10.43 is fine. I hope we start off in a decent place. 12-17. Great balls should not be with Pokeballs. This is just the way I see it. Great ball players should not be with Pokeball players. Like, it, I don't know, it makes it hard. I don't know. Maybe that's just my thoughts. I don't know. Excuse me. Nope, getting tired. Yep, this will be my final one on the lens stream. Because I work tonight, so I gotta get some sleep. And if I'm yawning, I know I'm gonna need it. Is he really not loaded? Let me refresh. Sometimes you have to refresh. Just in case it's on your end. No, they're just not loading. Okay. And then what, the lows elos? No, okay. Oh, thanks while we're waiting. Okay. Alright, we started off with fire. And we're in a fire. No, we're in a light dragon steel. Okay. That's cool you started me off with that. However, I don't think I'm going to use you. Squirtle. Squirtle, Squirtle. Do I even want you as my... Alright, Blastoise. I think I remember what items you want. No, wrong thing. Meta. Yeah, okay, pretty similar to what I thought it was. Cool, I'll take War Turtle already. That means I'm up to a pretty decent start. Oh. Nope. Oh no. Well, I'll take a heart scale. Oh wow, that's... Okay, cool. Thanks for the minerals. Jesus Christ. Okay, well, I'm gonna get rid of you. I don't really need you anymore. That was a whole lot of Azraels. I might get a Zoomer pretty early. Nope, I don't want Wiki. I want Meta. Zoomerel. Ooh, you want him? Okay. Well, you're not the one I wanted. Never mind. I'm dumb. I went for the wrong item. Maybe the wrong item. Well, I'll keep you till I get a spoon. If I get a spoon, you're the item I need. Oh, someone did drop out. Okay. guess I could have kept made them one, and then I would have to eliminate. I forgot Chinchou was eliminate. Oh well. Oh, right. Got some fairy in there. Alright, losing 7 wasn't that bad. No, Magikarp, I don't want you. I don't want no Magikarps. You want no scrubs. Oh, excuse me. I need spoons. I need spoons. I need spoons. Sweet. Another Azrael. Sell. I'll lock you guys for now. Oh, oh well. I don't really have the items. Oh no, I technically do. 2 eliminates. I didn't think I was gonna win that one, but okay. I am not one to complain. Hold on, did I need a second magnet? No, you create you. You're an item I might want to keep. Refresh. Okay, I'll keep Ditto. That's another Chinchou. Cool. I can sell you. Okay, let's not get all those. Black glasses? Okay, well, you at least create an item. I need water. There's only one water? Cool. I grab the one water. What is my 5th? What do we got? Ooh. We got you as our 5th. Okay, well. Okay, well, first I'm gonna pick you up. Okay, well then I'm gonna pick you up. Then I'm gonna do that. And what we do is okay. Then I'm gonna leave it like that. Honestly. Okay, so I'll give it to you. Oh, cool, I can sell Snowball. Snowball. Snowball, Snowball. Snowball, Snowball. They don't know the feeling. Cool. Spoon, spoon, spoon. I don't think I'm gonna get the spoon. But anyway, spoon, spoon. I need the spoon. Who's got the chalk? Rudy's got the chalk. Oh, come on. Come on. I hate when the game does this. I don't think I'll have the spoon available to me anymore. Oh, nope, didn't get what I wanted. Figured. Oh, well, I still won that. Oh, cool. Thanks for that. That's awesome. I need a 6th, don't I? Yeah, cool. There's my 6th water. There's a ditto. Ditto's nice. Ditto's nice. Ditto's life. I mean, I could make Nope. Alright, cool. It's really unfortunate my game paused when I needed items like that, because, like, another ditto. Hello, Piplup. I don't need you. I mean, I could, but I don't. And there's a poly. It's really unfortunate because the items I want to make, I can't make. Excuse me. Didn't need another magnet, but okay, I appreciate you, magnets. Thanks for showing up. No. Okay, whatever. I don't think another magnet. Alright, let's make you. Awesome. So you make that, you make that, you make that. Honestly, I'm gonna go to you. Cool, Phoebus. Hello, you. Let's do this. You're straight up poison. Interesting. Okay. You're 7, you're 5, you're 7, you're 7, you're 5. I'm a 6. Okay. Not too bad, not too shabby, not too shabby. What? Okay. Oh, look, there's a spoon. Am I going to get it? No. If I do, it's too late. Oh, okay. I get my spoon. You need spoon? Yes. I got my spoon, spoon, spoon. I got my spoon, spoon, spoon. Cool, 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 cool. I'm gonna give it to you. Okay, I kind of wish you went for tentacle instead. I didn't need you, but okay. Let's just stay in the top 4 at least. I think I'm gonna win this. I'm about to get my next unique, which hopefully is like a ooh, shiny item. What shinies am I gonna get? Okay. Nope. Alright, well, I'm going to be taking a chance then. Oh, did I get a water? No, I did not, but I did get you, so you're going on the team. 6 water, 2 ice. Alright. Alright. Once again, I don't get what I need. It's fine. 6 water, 2 ice isn't that bad. I almost... I was really using it on you to get you 2 and put you on you. No, I just lose this one. Got it. Okay. Awesome. Okay. Don't know why I did that, but I did. Okay, Sather. I don't know why Sather is here. I was confused, and now I'm petrified. I was confused. Cool. Are you about to show me a really cool what? No? I need one more Phoebus. Man, give me one Phoebus, and then I'll have my loaded. Because I think I get an achievement for that, for making my loaded. You know, I was doing so well in that round, and then it just went downhill. Yeah, no, I'm sad and disappointed that it turned out like that. Alright. Cool, this is what I want. Can we... Really? You really just give me more full item? No. No. I'll lock. I'll sell. Probably not gonna make top 4. If I survive this next round, I have a kind of a good chance. But we shall see. Oh, a Dynamax. Yeah, no. I'm not going to survive this. I'm just gonna die right here. Oh, nope, I barely survived. Okay. Possibly, if he gets knocked out, I'll be in top 4, and I'll be fine. But that's disgusting. It was like putting a Darna band on Arceus. Hey, Barbara, I'm gonna sell you. I'm gonna do this. Just to say I didn't get the achievement. Yeah. I want to replace you. You're cool and all, however. You're also a dragon? That doesn't make sense. Why is Milotic a dragon? What? How are you a dragon? I mean, I kind of see it, but yet I also don't. What? I don't. Okay. Whatever. Alright, cool. I made top 4 by beating him. That's good. Okay. Goal has been achieved. Top 4. You give me a... I guess I'm giving you the puppy doll. Well, give that to you, give that to you. Okay. Let's see what that does. Can I survive? Probably not. Oh, well, it's a trio. Let's pick up a wonder box. Oh, I wonder what's in a wonder box. Okay. Oh, you're a 2. Let me move you down 1 and see how that does. Where did my... how did my Milotic get all the way up there? What's going on with my Milotic? Why are you moving? What? Alright, well, I just lose. Alright, well, I made top 4. That's what I wanted. That was my goal. Alrighty. Well, everyone, that'll be the end of the live stream. I appreciate everyone coming out, watching me do the live reactions to the Elestronauts and then the update video, and doing the Pokemon stuff. It was really fun doing Pokemon Auto Chess. I know there wasn't a lot of talking, but no one was really chatting to me, which is no big deal, so try to fill the noise in the future. Maybe I'll put some background music on next time. I should be streaming Saturday for sure because I'm going to do the tournament and I want everyone to watch. I might do a stream on Friday. Haven't decided yet on what I want to do. But if it's not Friday, it'll definitely be Saturday. Sunday I won't stream because I'll be heading over to do my casual tournament. We'll be using the same deck I used last week, so hopefully I'll get first place in that. Appreciate you guys coming out. Make sure you check out some of my recent vids. I just released a video yesterday as part of my new weekly series called Mythological Mondays. Mythological Mondays is where every Monday I go over the basis of cards in mythology and how it correlates to Elestrals. So the very first episode, what I did was I went over the divine gods, which all have basis in Greek mythology. and I talked a bit about the Greek side of the gods and how their stories or backgrounds implemented themselves into Elestrals and how that impact the game. Next week, I will be going over the divine gods' artifacts and then some Elestrals that are associated to those gods and goddesses. So that should be a fun video. That'll go up next Monday. It'll be a weekly series until I run out of ideas or I have to wait till new stuff pops up. But that's Sword Plays. I appreciate you, I appreciate you, Lunarians. I hope to catch you next stream. Bye.